they're leaning in.
Or what?
They're leaning into woke. Hardcore.
They're petrified
Yeah.
of some kind of backlash. I mean, you see with Disney now. I mean, Disney, one of the most gay-friendly companies.
All right, let's go through this, right? There's no prince. Woman doesn't need a prince.
Oh, Lord.
Really? Okay, good luck back then.
How did Disney's Snow White go from a fairy tale dream to a $250 million nightmare? This wasn't just a flop, it was a full-on implosion that left fans raging, a studio scrambling, and one actress at the center of it all. Rachel Zegler, the fresh-faced star picked to lead this live-action reboot, went from Hollywood's next big thing to the face of a disaster that's still making waves in April 2025. Buckle up, because this story's got more twists than a poisoned apple, and it's way messier than anyone expected.
It's just so stupid. Like, of course you do. He doesn't need a prince to save her, and not surrounded by 7 weird people. Oh, okay, just CGI fictional goblins, I guess.
Back in 2021, Disney dropped a bombshell. Rachel Zegler, a 20-year-old Latina actress from West Side Story, would play Snow White. Fans lost it. The original princess, pale as snow, straight out of a German fairy tale, suddenly didn't match the casting. Critics screamed woke agenda, while Zegler fired back on Twitter, now X, with a since-deleted jab. Yes, I'm Snow White. No, I'm not bleaching my skin. Disney touted it as progressive, but the backlash was instant. People weren't just mad about her look, they felt the studio was already straying from a classic they loved. And that was just the beginning.
And I get it, there's a difference between spoiling and whatever, but to go out and badmouth everybody and talk smack about, I mean, older movies in the same franchise, the canon story, I guess?
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I feel like they would have had better control over that.
But then I can't bitch about it. This girl took the money and then decided that she wanted to go out there and, you know what, I'm gonna take my stand. Well, you should have made that stand before you took the money to promote a film, because that's not in line with your job description.
Fast forward to 2022, and Zegler started talking. In interviews, she didn't hold back, calling the 1937 Snow White extremely dated and slamming its focus on true love. She's not dreaming about a prince, Zegler told Extra TV. She's dreaming about being a leader. Bold move, right? Except fans didn't see it as bold, they saw it as disrespectful. The original's charm, that sweet romance with the prince, was getting torched. Even David Hand Jr., son of the 1937 director, chimed in, "Walt and my dad would be turning in their graves." Ziegler's words weren't just stirring the pot, they were setting it on fire. And Disney? They didn't see the smoke yet.
I think this is their policies coming back to bite them. They went woke.
Yeah.
She went out and said stuff woke that was going to hurt the film. They couldn't come out and go against her, because then you're going after somebody for saying what you say you believe.
Then came the film itself, or what fans called a woke rewrite. No prince to save her, just a bandit love interest. The 7 dwarfs? Mostly CGI goblins, not real actors with dwarfism, after Peter Dinklage called the original demeaning. Disney caved, but the move backfired. Fans raged over the erasure, and the CGI looked cheap. Joe Rogan called it fictional goblins on his podcast, laughing at the absurdity. The plot shifted hard. Snow White as a just ruler, not a damsel. Nostalgia was out the window, and the audience wasn't buying it. What was supposed to modernize the tale just alienated the people it needed most. But that wasn't the whole story.
But at the same time, like, I think going forward, they're going to be like, hey, shut up.
Yeah.
Tight-lipped. Otherwise, guess what? We're clawing back some money.
Yeah. This would have been a lot better if they, had a strong male along with her, a prince, if it wasn't about socialism.
Zegler's political stances hit next, and they hit hard. In August 2024, after the Snow White trailer dropped, she posted on X, and always remember, free Palestine. 8 million views later, Disney executives were sweating. Producer Mark Platt flew to New York to confront her per Variety. She didn't budge, kept the post up. Then, after Trump's 2024 re-election, she vented on Instagram. Trump supporters will never know peace. The backlash exploded. Megyn Kelly called her a pig on air. Fans vowed to boycott. Disney hired a social media guru to leash her, but the damage was done. Her takes weren't just opinions. They were grenades lobbed at an already shaky project.
I think they could have done all that. Well, you want to call? Well, they could have done all that still, and as long as she had gone out and been like, Well, we just have a different story. I like the old story, but we're doing a different one this time.
You're probably right.
The backlash would have been 10 times.
Yes.
You're probably right.
Things hit a breaking point on The View. Zegler was booked for a cushy PR spot. Calm the storm, sell the film. Instead, it imploded. She clashed with producers live, refusing their script, pushing her own views. They yanked her off set before the segment aired. Whoopi Goldberg and the host scrambled to fill dead air, while eyewitnesses leaked the chaos online. Rogan couldn't believe it. She showed up ready to fight, not promote. It wasn't just a misstep, it was a public unraveling. Disney wanted control, Zegler wanted a megaphone. The collision was brutal, and the optics, catastrophic.
That said, our primary purpose is to entertain, and where we can entertain responsibly, obviously we try to do that. We try to have a positive impact on the world, but the first thing we need to do is entertain.
Jonah Platt, whose father helped produce the latest Snow White film, had some very harsh words for star Rachel Zegler.
For context, Variety wrote a report recently titled Inside Disney's Snow White Fiasco, Death Threats, Beefed Up Security, and a Social Media Guru for Rachel Zegler.
Whispers of a feud with Gal Gadot, the evil queen, only made it juicier. Gadot, an Israeli star vocal about her homeland, clashed with Zegler's pro-Palestine stance, or so the rumors go. No hard proof, but the tension was palpable. On set, they barely hit it, sources say. Gadot kept it pro during promo, while Zegler's outbursts stole the spotlight. Fans hoped their chemistry would save the film, but instead, the off-screen drama drowned it. 2 stars, 2 views, 1 mess. Disney couldn't spin that into gold, and what happened next would shock everyone.
And then they couldn't put dwarfs because this is just so typical of the left. The progressives always finding a way to find their way back to doing something not progressive.
So even though woke in some sense feels like it's dead, it still has to run its course through the system. The ghosts have to get out of the machine in essence.
The box office numbers rolled in, and they were grim. By April 2025, Snow White had clawed just $69 million domestically against a $250 million budget. Globally, $143 million. Deadline pegged Disney's loss at $115 million. Critics trashed it, 41% on Rotten Tomatoes, and IMDb users tanked it to a historic 1.6 out of 10. Rogan marveled. They spent $250 million on that? Fans didn't just skip it, they buried it. The woke label, Zegler's rants, the CGI mess. It all snowballed into a rejection so loud Disney couldn't ignore it. This wasn't a flop, it was a humiliation.
You'd think the most progressive thing would be get people jobs, and dwarfs want to work.
This is like an honest golden employment opportunity for dwarves.
There's not that many scripts that come down the pike.
No, it's 7 of them.
But because I think it was Peter Dinklage said this is, this is not right. This is demeaning, and they were like, what? We just want to work. We're dwarves. So, ho, ho, ho.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, Disney scrambled. Gadot got beefed up security after death threats tied to Zegler's posts. Zegler got that social media handler, but the real kicker? Jonah Platt, Mark's son, went off on Instagram, calling her a 20-year-old employee, dragging politics into a multi-million-dollar contract. He deleted it, but the screenshot lived on. Disney's PR machine sputtered, canceled red carpet interviews, muted press junkets. Even Bob Iger, the Mastermind CEO, looked rattled. Rogan saw it clear. Their policies bit them. The studio was cracking, and the blame game was on.
For Snow White, it's coming to terms with finding herself and finding her inner voice and finding a sense of agency so that she can be a just ruler and a wonderful queen, because there's another one in town.
It just takes a beloved movie and makes it much more boring and much less realistic. The movie is really, really bad. But the primary suffering is being sent in by my company to watch a children's movie as a single man, like 2 p.m. on a Thursday. That was the first part that was a little bit weird, but I was basically the only person in the theater.
So what's next for Zegler? Some call her box office poison. Snow White's stench sticks hard. John Lennon's son, Sean Ono Lennon, dubbed her a disconnected brat, yet she's got defenders. Pedro Pascal posted icon on Instagram, catching flack himself. She's booked for Evita on London's West End in June 2025. 1995, a chance to pivot. Will Hollywood blacklist her, or will she bounce back? The jury's out, but one thing's sure. This fiasco's a shadow she'll carry. Disney might think twice before handing a megaphone to someone this unfiltered again.
Very few people wanted to see this. Even the little kids who like Disney movies, even they don't seem to be turning up in droves for the movie because the movie is really, really bad. And so I've got some bona fides here on being fair. The movie was absolutely terrible. In every way that the movie differed from the beloved 1937 original, it was worse. It basically, this movie was like you took the original Snow White and just put everything through this filter of liberalism. It wasn't through a filter of Japanese anime, it was through a filter of liberalism.